Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ and it is Trashcraft Tuesday time. So back with a little extension project from essentially what was a Trashcraft exercise. I don't think I did it as a Trashcraft Tuesday video, I can't quite remember. But this is my bag of scraps of white paper. When I print out photos or something and I trim off bits or any printable, and I save all the offcuts, you know, little strips and fragments and all that sort of thing, and I save them up and then I coffee dye them. Okay, so that was, I have done that on video, but as I said, it may not have been a Trashcraft Tuesday video. So I did a video where I showed me coffee dyeing up these scraps, and it's not just coffee dyed scraps in here. There's a coffee dyed one, but there's also strips from music, sheet music, book pages, other types of paper, you know, just random bits and pieces, brown paper bag, you name it, it's in here. Just offcuts of everything. And I like to stamp on these. I stamp words and I stamp numbers. And I wanted to do something a little bit different and use some of these up, because as you saw from the other bag, I've got heaps and heaps and heaps of white stacking up that I really need to do something with. And like this bag is already quite well stocked as it is. And yes, I could stop collecting them, but it's like, it's good paper. You know, I want to use it. It's a free, it's a free resource really. And I know lots of people do, sorry, I just knocked the cord on the camera there. I know lots of people do just chuck this stuff away, but I'm going to do something with it. So that's today's Trashcraft Tuesday. And yes, I could stamp these with words and numbers, and I've got heaps that I can still do that with. So I want to do some stamping that will create almost like faux washi, but in a vintage style. So what I'm going to do is oh, not that one. That one's almost empty. Let's try this one. Yes, this one's still got glue in it. I want to be able to do a whole bunch at once. And I thought, well, how am I going to do this? I'm just going to stick down one end to a sheet of paper and then stamp all over top of them, all at the same time. Does that sound like a plan? I thought it sounded like a plan at whatever horrible o'clock it was last night when I was thinking of this. It was one of those nights, it was. And when I'm done stamping them, I can basically lift them off the paper, because I'm only gluing at one end, and there might be patches where I've put the glue, you know, glued them down, and other patches where they might catch. Or where I've glued them, I can just cut that whole strip, and it's just going to be a double layered bit that will be stronger for it. So no biggie. But I thought by laying them down like this, I can just go right over top of everything with the stamps and not sort of fiddle around. And yeah, I thought it might be a good time saver. So let's see how it's going to work. So I'm just placing down all my bits of scraps of paper. Well, not all of them, but as many as will fit. And if I've got gaps between them, that's all right, because the paper underneath will catch that. So no need to worry about stamping on my mat, except around the edges, probably. And if they're not straight, well, leave a bit more of a gap. So I think this should work reasonably well. I'm thinking it should. I can't see why it won't. Well, this is a really dark, grungy bit. Bit of coffee dyed. And I might go in and put a bit of glue under the ends of them, just so they don't flop around too much. but we'll see. Here's a bit that was folded. I think that'll basically fill in the rest of our width of our paper here. Like so. Oh, that one's not wanting to be straight. That's because it's all curly. So yeah, I'm just going to go in and pop a little bit at the end of the strips, just to sort of keep them in place a little bit better. So I'm just gluing, just doing my thing. So how is everybody today? I hope you've had an awesome day so far. I'm filming ahead. I'm really making a concentrated effort on filming ahead because I haven't been happy with how late my videos are getting up each day. And the way to fix that is to film ahead and have them all uploaded before the day that they air. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm just going to fill in these end bits because I may as well cover the whole thing, don't you think? If I'm going to do this, I might as well use the real estate I've got. And put them all down. Right, another small bit here somewhere. This has actually got some branding text on it, which I don't want, so I'm just going to take that off. Not that you could read it, but yeah, don't want it there. Get rid of it. Might actually stick this one this way just for something different. Like so. And trim off these ends because I'm not going to be stamping off the bottom sheet of the paper. And actually I probably do want something underneath this. Have I got something thin enough to go in? No. No, they're all too thick. If they're too thin, I don't keep them. I do throw them out if they're too narrow. So obviously I haven't got anything in my stash narrow enough to fill those few gaps. And I'm not going to tear down something to go underneath. Right, a moment ago I had some paper to catch stuff and I can't see where I've put it. Ah, here it is. So this can be my paper for catching any stamp over. Just flatten it. Oh, it's not very flat. There, that's better. With a crease. Right, and I've grabbed out a bunch of stamps, and I I definitely won't use them all because I grabbed out heaps. But ones that I thought might be the sort of ones that I want to do this with. And you can change it up, like do this page one way, do another page of strips another way. I'm going to do this in black, and I'm doing a Cowgirls and Lace themed journal. I've only just started it. And so I grabbed out these borders, and this one is quite sort of lacy, William Morris-esque, if I can say that as a word. And I think I'm just going to use my hands on this one because I haven't got my long block here. In fact, I don't actually know where it is. And I'm just going to stamp right across. And just randomly stamp in areas in different directions, and then whatever lands on whatever strip is all good. So it should be a bit of fun and see what they come out like. Cool. So far so good. So hopefully this is an idea that appeals, and if you don't have these strips of paper like that, you could do it with anything. You could do it with scrapbook paper, anything at all. Just glue it at the ends down to a base page so it's sort of easier to work with. And then stamp your heart out. Grab whatever stamps, whatever theme, whatever you like, whatever you think you might use in other projects, and just go for it. What's the worst? If it's only trash, what's the worst? Use some ink. Sorry for reaching under. Still my stamps are at the top of the desk. I've got nowhere else I can pop them at the moment. So let's go with some text. And no direction on this. Like, don't worry about direction. It's just where it lands is perfect. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot, actually. And if they go on top of each other, oops, that one was a bit blurry. Never mind. It's all good. Then that's fine too. You know, if the stamps overlap, you're just building and building and building. Building it up. And I like where some bits are lighter and some bits are darker, and yeah, that's all part of the fun too. So the way I'm going, it's not going to have all that many different stamps on it to fill it up, and that's okay. Put that back on the backing so it doesn't get all dusty and get stuff stuck in it. Maybe I should go for something sort of focalish. Well, not exactly focalish, but if you know what I mean. Is that even a word? Is focalish a word? I don't think so. Just having a look. Maybe this wee faux stamp from Stampin' Up! Fresh Vintage. So let's open the container. Oh, there we go. Grab out this wee stamp. I've used this wee stamp quite a bit. I think it's the most used one out of that whole set. And it goes that way up. So I'm stamping there across 3 different strips because that's fun. And I'll do the same down here between 3 different ones so that each get a bit of it. And then just between the 2. And then all on this one. This is a big wide strip, so we'll give that a nice big stamp all on its own. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Right, and right, I think that's enough of that. Off that excess ink. Oops, I need a baby wipe on that. I should have grabbed one out in preparation, but I didn't. There we go. I'll put that away before it gets soggy and damaged with the wet wipe. Okay, pop that one away. And I'm thinking numbers. Of course I am. Do like my numbers. So let's, these ones big enough. I'm thinking maybe I need my bigger set. And these are got a lovely sort of grungy vibe, like they've been done in chalk or something. I don't know how to explain it, but they've got little bits missing and stuff, and so they're really cool. Thinking maybe these numbers here might be good. So let's go with 9, because that's just what I'm feeling. I'm feeling 9. Ooh, nice. And of course 9 can be a 6 too, depending on what direction you're looking at it. So that's a multi-function stamp, really. Stamp it off the strip a little bit. Awesome. Loving this. I hope you guys give this a go, because I'm finding it a lot of fun. keep getting ink around the edges of my blocks, which is super annoying. Right, so I think that's enough of that. How about a symbol? We've got a cent, a dollar, or a pound symbol. What do we feel like? Or we could go a fraction. We've got a half or a 3/4. I don't know why they haven't done a quarter, but they didn't. That's okay. Let's go a cent. Just because. Just because it's a bit of fun and it's a bit different. Okay, I've got quite a few gaps over here on this one, so I'll have to put something else in there. Oh, super awesome. I think these are going to be fun to use in projects too, like faux washi, a trim on a pocket or down a page, like anywhere that you'd use some decorative trim, or in collage, like you could put these pieces in a piece that you're collaging up. Clean my block again. I'm going to end up all black fingered. Right, that's enough of the cent. Okay, let's go for something else. So we've got some numbers, which makes me happy. What do I want? Sorry, I know I'm reaching. How about a label stamp? So I think I might just go with this little rectangle one. It's relatively plain, but it's got a cool little grungy edge on it. Let's see where we can pop this one. Gap down here. And up here. How do I want it? Maybe a little bit down on the bottom edge there. Again, stamping across 3 different strips. Super satisfying, I tell you people, this is satisfying. Simple, easy, you know, no drama, just playing and having fun with it. Okay, that's enough of that, and I'm thinking there's a couple more gaps, so I'm just wanting, I think, one more little element to pop in. And I'm thinking something organic, a butterfly, dragonfly, a leaf. That's too big. I've got splotches here. Splotches could be fun. Not entirely organic. What do we think? A splotch or a bug? I'm going to go dragonfly. We can always add splotches as well if we feel like it. So let's go dragonfly. Oops, didn't stamp that one very well. Never mind. I'm totally plastering these. You may have noticed. You could do less. You could do more. You could do whatever you feel like. You could do different colours, which would look pretty cool. If you had a themed journal that you're working on a particular colour, you could totally do it in those colours. You could do it purely vintage and do a brown ink. like vintage photo or sepia, something along those lines, whichever brown ink you like. I think that we're probably pretty much done, and I don't think we've really got much room for splotches. So let's just clean this wee fellow off. Close that, and just so you can see a bit better. So this is our strips all stamped up. What do you think? Do you think it looks all right? Now I want to take them off the backing paper and look at them individually so we can really see what the overall effect is. So I'm wondering whether I can peel them up, because it was only glue stick. And I don't mind if they bring up some of the backing paper with them, like this one did. That's not a problem, because it's only waste paper out of a book that is really super boring unless you're into accounting. So yeah, so here we have our first strip. I think that's pretty cool, don't you reckon? Put it on anywhere. Let's have a look. So imagine this is my journal page, and cut it to size, and you could actually, the strip of this width you can even turn into a tuck spot or a little side pocket or something. You could back it with, it's quite thick paper, it's I think it's book page. Yeah, it is, it's book page, but a thick book page. But you could back it onto something else to make it a bit stronger if you wanted, if it was a thinner paper, and have that as a little side tuck. I think that's super cute. Or you could layer it up with some other things and make it into a belly band. And there you go, you've got the base of an ephemera piece already done. And keeping it sort of generically themed with things that you're likely to use means it can go anywhere in any journal at the end of the day. Multiple uses. So let's pull up some of these others. Some of these others are very fragile paper, so I'm suspecting I might not be able to attach them quite so easily without tearing. But if they tear at the end, like this one, just trim it off. Like, it's already waste trash anyway. So if you lose a little bit in this process, then you've saved most of it. It's like, not going to get too upset about losing a little bit off the ends. So yeah, the thinner papers definitely suffer a bit more, but like this coffee dyed copy paper, peeled up beautifully. This one I think was glued down. Is it glued down totally? No, not quite. And if it really is fragile, then just cut it out and keep it on the backing paper, because that's going to make it stronger. That one came up okay. Oh yay, I'm so happy that this technique worked. I really am. Because you know, you never know when you get those sort of middle of the night ideas, you don't really know whether they're good ideas or not until you give them a whirl and find out whether they do indeed work or not. That's a fun bit. I really like that dark coffee strip there. I think that's fun. Really nice. Some of these strips are antique music paper. So very old and quite thin and quite soft paper. So that's the first one I took up that tore at the ends. That was vintage music paper. Trim off the edge. This little bit. Oops, it's tearing. Okay, it tore some of the back off, but you've still got this cool little fragment that you can put on a cluster. Right, see, some of it's still left on that paper there. That's fine. this is coffee dyed paper, so it should be pretty good to come up. There's a bit of glue in the middle there. And there we go. And we can reuse the sheet and go again. Like, perfect. And it could end up that this gets all these little fragments of paper stuck all over it, and bits of stamping that's come in between the strips. And that could actually turn into a really neat collage piece all on its own. You could add some colour, some paint or some ink or something, and that could end up really fun. But look, isn't that, I just think that's super. I think it looks pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. If you did a page trim just to decorate the page, or if you had a pocket, so like a book page, and you collage up your pocket and just did a bit along the top of your pocket or down the side, or you could even just collage up like different random strips from different stamping sessions. You know, if you had different features on the strips, don't put them in the same order that you stamp them in so that they're not matchy. That could be fun too. So use it as collage strips for a pocket or something, or a journal card. What else could you do with it? Clusters I've already mentioned. There's a little base. Let's make a cluster, shall we? So I've got this wee piece. What else do we want to put? So maybe a bit of book page or music paper. Let's go music paper. Actually, that's the same colour because it's the same paper, so maybe we'll find something that looks a little bit different. A bit close in colour. I'm looking for a different colour, otherwise it's too blendy. How about this bit of book page? It's a map. Oops. It's also soft paper too. Okay, it's a bit blendy as well, but we can work with that. Need some coloured paper. What colour do we want to go with? What scraps have I got? Here's a scrap of a digital that I'm working on at the moment. I seem to have a lot of digitals on the go at the moment. I think I like it that way. And I feel like we need something else. I mean, we don't necessarily need anything else. That's 3 pieces, which is fine. But I'm having fun. Take off that straight edge, I think. So this is just a bit of atlas. I like that. And I'm thinking one more piece. No, I'm not going to stop. I'm having fun. No. Not fussed on that bit. How about some of this brown, or it's blue on the other side, so we can see which we like better. Because there's a bit of sort of orangey brown in that piece. Yep, I like the brown. Okay, so I think 5 pieces, I think that's fine. And grab my stapler, and I'm just going to do a simple staple. You could sew it on the sewing machine, you could glue it, you could hand sew it, put a few stitches through it to hand sew it. But I'm just going to staple it because it's quick and it's easy, and then I can just glue it down on a pocket. So here's our pocket. Glue it down to decorate a pocket, or stick it up the top of the page. Out the side is a little side tab just to decorate a page with. Super fun, super quick, super easy, and every stage of the process is just fun. Like even the coffee dyeing of the strips I enjoy. I find it very satisfying to use all those little pieces and not throw them out. So there is Trash Craft Tuesday, a quick fun little idea. It did work. Just glue them down to a scrap page of some description. That's not important. Just glue them at the top and the bottom and then stamp all over and then take them off, and you've got these fun individual little strips, and that essentially looks like faux washi, doesn't it? So anywhere that you would use washi, you could just have fun. So hope you like this idea, guys. Let me know if you give it a go. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you back for the next video. Bye.